Hey YouTube, I'm XX the Panzer XX, and I'm going to do another Axis and Allies miniatures review. This time we're going to talk about my German army. Okay, here they are. Alright. I know it's not very big, I don't have a lot of Axis and Allies, but I think it's pretty decent. Alright, we'll talk about, first up, the King Tiger. Now you might have seen this in my top 5 miniatures review. So I'm not going to talk about it much. But here's the card. Alright. It's 71 points, which is a lot. It's German, obviously. Has a speed of 3, an frontal defense of 8, and a rear defense of 6, which is stupendous. Against infantry, it's normal. It does 7, 7, 6. Against tanks, it does 18, 15, 13, which is spectacular. Then it has an extended range of 12 and superior armor 2, which it could shoot 4 hexes farther than normal units, and it has superior armor 2, which is pretty good. Alright. The next unit you may have seen in my Panzer IV versus Cromwell comparison. This is the Panzer IV. Here's the card. Alright. It's 22 points, decent amount of points. It's German. It's got a speed of 3, frontal defense of 5, and a rear defense of 3, which is pretty good. Against infantry, 7, 7, 6, and then 15, 13, 11, which is decent. And it has extended range 10, which means it could shoot 2 hexes farther than normal units. So it's pretty good. Next one is the Panzer IV Alps FG. Alps G, my bad. Which is basically the same exact tank as the Panzer IV Alps F2, but it just looks different. Minor differences. This one was used on the Eastern Front. Now, if you look at the card, there's no pictures on it as they did in the Eastern Front, which was stupid. But it's basically the same exact unit as the Panzer IV Alps F2. So there's really not that much need to talk about it. The next one would be my Panzer IIIs, and you may have seen these also in my top 5 favorite units. Here's the cards. It's 13 points, which is cheap for a tank. Its speed is 3, its frontal and rear defense are 3, which is very weak for a tank. It does normal against infantry, 7, 7, 6, and against tanks it's 10, 8, 6. So in groups of 2 or more, or lucky shot, this could be good for tanks, or in support of bigger tanks. So support tank or groups of 3 or more. But I think it serves best as an infantry support tank or a flank tank. It has smoke screen, which you can activate that once a game and that can't be shot. Okay, my next thing I'm going to review isn't a tank. It's actually a tank destroyer. It's the Marder 3 Alps M. There it is. Here's the card. It's also from the Eastern Front, so there's no picture. It's 17 points, which means it costs more than the Panzer III. It has a speed of 4, which is fast for an Axis vehicle. Its frontal defense is 3, which is the same thing as the Panzer III, but its rear defense is 2. So you could take that out probably with a machine gun or an anti-tank, easy. Against infantry, it's a little worse. It's 6, 5, 4. But against tanks, it's 15, 13, 11, which I believe is the same thing as the Panzer IV. It has a disaffect of no turret, which means you can only shoot what's at forward of you. And but it has robust, which means it gets a speed of 1 when it's disrupted, which could be pretty useful. Okay, the next one I'm going to review, you probably also seen on my top 5 favorite miniatures, is the 88. Here's the card for it. No picture because it's on the Eastern Front. It's 20 points to review, which I think is... 20 points to use, my bad, I said review, which I think is spectacular for how good it is. Against infantry it's 7, 7, 6, but it's 18, 15, 13, same gun as the King Tiger against tanks. It has a speed of 0, which was not very surprising as a deterrent. It has 3 of 3. But as you can see, it has the heavy gun effect, anti-air, gun shield, large silhouette, and extended range of 20, which is spectacular. But there's nothing talking about deployment, so I have no idea how to use this thing. So as I said, I usually use it as a forward deployment, which basically you put it wherever you want on the map, and you can't move it. But if you know how to use it correctly, message me or comment or whatever and tell me. Then the next one, I don't know why that's there, is the Pak 40. This was close to getting into my top 5. It's a really, really good unit. Here's the card for that. It's 14 points to deploy, which I think is a good deal. Speed 0, and its defense is 3. 3/3/3 against infantry. So basically, you're not going to kill infantry unless they're weakened. But it has 15, 13, 12 against vehicles. It's got relocate 2, as most turrets should, and then it has extended range 10. So basically, this has the same guns as the Panzer IV. So it's pretty good. The next unit I'm going to review is the Pak 38. And I do not have the card for this, so basically I had to print off a card. Here's that. It costs 10 to deploy, which is a good deal. Its defense is 3. It's 3/3/3 against vehicles, 11/9/7 against tanks. And then it has relocate 2 and seasoned crew, which means this unit's attack. Units attacked by this unit gets -1 on cover rolls, so that's pretty good. Then you've seen this one on the top 5, this Nebelwerfer 42. Here's a card for it. No picture, it's the Eastern Front. But its speed is 3, it's 7, 13, 10 against infantry, and then, 7, 7, 7 against tanks. As I said, it was a anti-infantry. It gets relocate 2, inaccurate 1, my bad, bombardment, blast, and rocket salvo. And then I'm going to talk about my officer, the Wehrmacht Oberleutnant. Here he is. I'm hoping my phone ringing isn't getting this video. Anyway, he can only attack at short range, and he does 6. And he can attack short to medium against vehicles, and he does 10 and 6. He has defensive 4 and 4 like any infantry, and a speed of 1 like any infantry. He has close assault 11, initiative +2, and anger. In your assault phase, friendly soldiers adjacent to this unit can move into an enemy unit's hex and then attack that unit. They get +1 on the attack die for that attack. So, I'm not sure. The next units are my Kar 98s. This is the mainstay of my infantry force. And here's the card for them. It's a picture. There are 3 units deploy as more normal infantry should be. 8 and 6 against infantry and 2 against tanks. 7 defense and speed, and it has close assault 6, which means if it's in a hex of vehicle, it gets a 6. Then the next are my Panzerfausts. Here's the card for them. Picture. Panzerfaust is anti-tank, very weak against infantry, but pretty good against tanks, and they have a close assault of 11. So you could take out a tank if you get close to it with a Panzerfaust, which if you have enough, you could really mess up some tanks. And then a special unit for the Germans is the Pioneer. There he is, and here's his card. No picture, it's the Eastern Front. 7 and 5 against infantry, so he's basically just a normal infantry, even though he costs 7. And 2 against tanks at short range. So, for normal purposes, he's basically infantry. But he has close assault 12, which means he gets an attack of 12 against the vehicle it attacks. Plus he has bridge demolition, which means he can take out a bridge. So I think this is an excellent unit. You can use it as a normal infantry, which means you can back up your infantry force. Plus, if a tank gets too close, you can fuck it up. Okay, and the last 2 units I'm going to talk about are my MG42s. Here's the card for them. There's a picture. It costs 10 points to deploy, 10, 8, and 7 against infantry, which it shoots farther than infantry does, and 3/3 against tanks. It gets a defensive 4 and 4, same as infantry. So it's basically just the same as infantry, except it can shoot farther and do more damage. It gets a double shot, Explosives means it can shoot twice at one target, or shoot at two different targets once. And Suppressive Fires means it gets any number of defensive fire attacks in each phase. So you got to watch around moving your troops around this if it's your enemy. So it's a pretty good unit. So yeah, there's my German army. Not a lot, but you still have to watch out for it if you're smaller battles and stuff. But yeah. Thanks for watching the vid. I'm XX_Panzer_XX. Subscribe and stuff. Till next time, XX_Panzer_XX out.